We are going to start by talking about what are known as destruction displays. Now, if you were about and there was a predator around, what are you going to do? Well, for one thing, you're going to try to attract as little attention as possible, right? Because if the predator doesn't know you're there, it is not going to try to eat you. But sometimes certain species of birds do the exact opposite. When the predator approaches, they do their best to try to attract the attention of that predator. That predator. Now, why would they do that? Well, they do that to draw the predator away from their nest, away from their eggs or their young birds. And the behaviors that the birds engaging in to distract predators are called distraction displays. And there are a number of different kinds of distraction displays. Most of the time, when birds are engaging in distraction display, they are going to be pretending either that they have injury or they are ill. That they are exhausted. You know something that makes the predator think, here's an easy meal. One pretty common destruction display was called the broken wing display. And in a broken wing display, the bird spread and drags the wings or its tail. And while it does that, it slowly moves away from the nest, so it really looks like a bird with a broken wing. And these broken wing displays can be pretty convincing. Another version of this kind of destruction display is where the birds create the same impression over mouse or some other small animals that running around the ground. A good example of that kind of display is created by a bird called the purple sandpiper. Now, what the purple sandpiper does is, when a predator approaches, it drags its wings, but not to give it the impression that its wings are broken, but to create the illusion that it has a second pair of legs. And then it raises its feathers so it looks like it got a coat of fur. And then it runs along the ground, soaring. Swirling left and right, like running around a little rock and sticks. And as it goes along, it makes a little squeezing noise. So from a distance, it really looks and sounds like a little animal running around the ground trying to get away. Again, to the predator, it looks like an easy meal. Now, what's interesting is birds have different levels of performance of these destruction displays. They don't give their top performance, their prime time performance every time. What they do is they save their best performances, their most conspicuous and most risky displays for the time just before. The baby birds become able to take care of themselves. They don't give their top performance, their prime time performance every time. What they do is they save their best performance, their most conspicuous and most risky displays for the time just before themselves and the time that way because that when that makes the greatest investment in parenting their young. So they are not going to put their best performance just after they laid their eggs because they have not invested that much more time and energy in parenting yet. The top performance is going to come later. Now you have some birds that are quite mature or quite capable almost as soon as they hatch. In that case, the parent will put on the most conspicuous distraction display just before the babies hatch because once the babies are hatched, they can pretty much take care of themselves. They then you have the birds that helps when have hatched. In that case, the parents will save the best performance until just before the babies get their feathers.